Times are tough. Everything from groceries and petrol to interest rates and rent are more expensive than ever, and it just plain sucks. But in a cost of living crisis, should you really be splurging on a new car, or are more affordable models that still tick all the boxes the way to go? Enter the 2024 GWM Haval Jolion, a cut-price SUV that boasts an impressive equipment list and enough space for a small family, all for less than $30,000. But can a model like this really offer a comparable experience to big names from the likes of Hyundai or Mazda? Well, stick around because in this video, you're gonna find out. Let's not beat around the bush. The refreshed 2024 GWM Haval Jolion is one of the cheapest small SUVs you can buy in Australia, kicking off at just $26,990 drive away for the entry-level premium grade. Even this upmarket luxe version I have with me here is $29,990, undercutting big-name rivals like the Hyundai Kona, Mazda CX-30, and Kia Seltos. And the cherry on top of all of this is that prices are actually down compared to last year's model, with this grade $1,000 cheaper than before. And despite all this, GWM have still loaded the equipment list with all the new things you would want out of a brand new car in 2024.
The standard equipment list includes 17-inch wheels, a 10.25-inch infotainment touchscreen, keyless entry, push-button start, automatic wipers, and paddle shifters. However, spending that extra $3,000 for the Luxe nets buyers more high-tech features such as LED headlights that replace the halogens, a 7-inch digital instrument cluster instead of analog dials, synthetic leather interior, heated front seats, dual-zone climate control, a surround view monitor, and a 6-speaker sound system up from just 4. It's a worthwhile step up if you can afford it, as the equipment additions in the Luxe are genuinely useful day to day and transform the Jolion from just a simple commuter car into a comfortable and pleasant space to spend time in. There is also a newly introduced Ultra Grade priced at $33,990 that shares the sportier styling of the Jolion Hybrid and adds a panoramic sunroof, power adjustable passenger seat, wireless smartphone charger, interior ambient lighting, a head-up display, front parking sensors, and automatic parking. All nice to haves, but not essential. Hybrid versions of the Jolion are also available in premium, luxe, and ultra forms, moving pricing to $32,990, $35,990, and $38,990 respectively. But GWM Australia is currently running a promotion till the end of the year, which cuts a further $1,000 off the sticker price of all Jolion variants.
You really don't get what you pay for in the Jolion, you get more. This Luxe trim in particular has an equipment list that is comparable to models that are $5,000 or even $10,000 more expensive when factoring on-road costs. So, review done, we should all just go out and buy a Jolion, right? While that equipment list might look attractive on paper, in reality, some of those features don't work as well as I'd hope and can be downright frustrating. But more on that soon. Pricing and equipment aside, I'm so glad GWM has taken the opportunity to refresh the styling on this updated 2024 Jolion. Whereas before, at least to me, the Jolion looked a little bit awkward, bloated, and even derivative, but this new 2024 version is a lot more confident with its styling.
Up front, there's a new grille and bumper, while the rear is also restyled for an overall tauter and more athletic appearance. Oh, and the lashings of chrome are gone, replaced by more modern black detailing that also ties in with a new wheel arch cladding. Speaking of, that cladding also serves as a rear door protector too, saving your paint if you open too aggressively into a wall. And though the running mascara lighting signature remains at the front and back, the 2024 petrol-powered Jolion feels more style-focused and less daggy than before.
I don't know if this makes any sense, but the 2024 Jolion finally looks like the SUV it was always meant to be. It has distinct styling that stands out from the samey and bland sea of SUVs that you would see out there in the real world. And that's nothing but a good thing to me.
So if you're convinced and you think the GWM Haval Jolion is the right car for you, you can head to the Drive Marketplace to browse the dozens of listings we have on offer. Otherwise, you can always check out its competitors.
2 engine options are available in the 2024 GWM Haval Jolion lineup, starting with a 1.5 litre turbo petrol 4-cylinder engine. It develops 105 kilowatts and 210 newton meters, which is sent to the front wheels via a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Now these outputs don't blow away the competition, but at least it keeps the Jolion competitive in the small SUV segment.
However, buyers that want a bit more pep can opt for a Jolion Hybrid, which ditches the turbo and adds an electric motor to turn the wick up to 140 kilowatts and 375 Newton meters.
There's no denying that this non-hybrid version of the Jolion is the thirstiest of the bunch, returning an official fuel consumption combined average of 8.1 litres per 100 kilometres. In my time with the car, I averaged 9.5 litres per 100 kilometres, owing mainly to the fact that I kept the Jolion in inner city conditions, running to and from work and dropping the kids and picking them up from childcare. So of course, your mileage will vary.
However, the hybrid always remains an option for fuel-frugal buyers, which cuts the consumption claim down to just 5.1 litres per 100 kilometres.
But where the Jolion can't match its rivals in terms of efficiency, it makes amends for that in boot space.
Pop the back aperture and the Jolion reveals its 337 litre cavity, which might not be class leading, but certainly affords enough room for a full-size pram, groceries, luggage, and more, but not all at once. If you need to carry all that, then fold the rear seats down and space swells to a generous 1,133 litres.
I will call out that this rear parcel shelf is one of the areas where the Jolion's budget-friendly price sticks out. Not only does it feel flimsy and light, but the guiding strings attachment points are just metal clips, meaning installing or removing the shelf is more difficult than the plastic knobs you get in other vehicles. But I do recognize that this is a very, very minor gripe. In the back seat of the Jolion, there's more space than you would expect out of a small SUV, in part because the wheelbase is as large as a Mazda CX-5. This means for 6 foot tall adults like myself, there's plenty of head, leg, and shoulder room in the outboard seats, and installing car seats back here is a breeze. I will also call out the flat floor, which makes it easier to go 3 up in the second row. I particularly like this Velcro flap that is used to cover the ISOFIX points when not in use, which means crumbs and debris can't find their way down there. Aside from that, other amenities include rear air vents, you've got 2 USB charging points, the door pockets will accommodate large water bottles, and there's a fold-down center armrest with access to 2 cup holders. Space is also good in the front seats, and the electronically adjustable driver's seat here in this Luxe grade offers a great degree of variability so you can get comfortable. The seats are good too. I just sink into this chair and feel well ensconced and relaxed. And there's plenty of storage options to empty your pockets too. With large door pockets that will accommodate water bottles, you've got 2 cup holders here, there's a smartphone storage tray, as well as a lower tiered storage tray, and an underarm storage cubby.
It's not perfect in here, mind you. The materials feel a little too hard and budget friendly, especially this synthetic leather that feels a little too fake. And the design and layout are not as cohesive as I'd like, with a mishmash of materials and white contrast stitching everywhere.
However, the biggest takeaway that the Jolion is a cut price model is the infotainment system. Yes, it's a 10.25-inch touchscreen, but the software and functionality leaves a lot to be desired. For example, if you want to change the Jolion's driving mode, you need to dig into the vehicle menu, then the driving settings, then the drive mode menu before you can change it from normal to sport or economy or snowfield. And this is a problem of the menu layout in general because everything just takes a press or 2 longer than you'd expect to get to where you want. Want to turn on your heated seats? Well, it's not found in the climate control menu as you'd expect. Instead, you've got to dive into the vehicle settings menu, followed by the seat settings menu, just to turn on the heated seats. I'd really like to see GWM overhaul this UI in the next update. And most of the climate controls are also done through the touchscreen, making it really hard to adjust temperature or fan speed while on the move. I've also seen the infotainment system freeze or stutter on more than one occasion in my time with the car, but most annoying of all is that GWM has chosen to place buttons right in the area where you would rest your palm to interact with the touchscreen.
To be fair though, there is always the option of just running Android Auto or Apple CarPlay via a wire in here, which solves some functionality issues and gives drivers access to satellite navigation as there is no inbuilt option.
The biggest slight I can levy at the 2024 GWM Haval Jolion Luxe is that the safety systems are a little overzealous. You'll know what I mean as the car continues to beep and bong at me while I talk to the camera. The driver attention monitor, this little camera mounted on the A-pillar, is most egregious of all, welcoming a head check, a glance over at the infotainment screen, or any deviation of the eyes from dead center with an alert. Of course you can turn it off, at least the driver distraction alert, but where do you think that option is hidden in the infotainment system? And if you guess the intelligent driving menu with the rest of the safety systems, well, you'd be wrong. Because to turn it off, you actually have to dive into the general settings menu and go under the tab labeled Intelligent Ability. How unintelligent. The digital instrument cluster also takes a while to come to grips with, because the first time you jump into this car, you might actually think it's broken. None of these buttons actually change the readout of this 7-inch screen. Instead, it seems like it's stuck on the lane keep assist system. In actual fact, however, the lane keep assist system just takes over the display, and if you want to customize this digital instrument cluster, you have to turn that safety system off altogether.
Or press and hold the OK button for an extended period of time.
Look, I get that it's not great that you have to turn off the driver monitoring system because it's too annoying, and the lane keep assist system just to get some basic functionality out of the digital instrument cluster, but let me put it to you another way. It's better that GWM have put these safety systems in here and they're annoying, rather than omitting the safety systems altogether. But how does the Jolion drive? As a small SUV, this GWM model is not going to wake up the little Lewis Hamilton hiding inside all of us. It just needs to be comfortable and easy to drive. And in those two aspects, it mostly succeeds. The 1.5 litre engine with its 105 kilowatt and 210 newton meter outputs feel adequate enough for a car this shape and this size. And when traveling around town at speeds below 60 kilometers an hour, it's pleasant enough. Push a bit harder on a freeway though, and the engine starts to feel a little undercooked and runs out of huff as the speedo climbs. Paired to the engine is a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. And I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of DCTs outside of a performance application, and this transmission does nothing to change my mind. There's no low-speed jerkiness like I've experienced in some of the worst dual-clutch transmissions on the market, but it is easy to catch the system out when you need a sudden burst of speed. As for the handling, well, the skinny 215 wide tyres and tall ride height don't exactly instill confidence in a fast corner, but that's not what this car is about. Quick direction changes can induce bounciness in the cabin, as can road humps and potholes at speed. But the long suspension travel does have its benefits, because when you're just potting around town, things are comfortable, even relaxing. The 2024 GWM Haval Jolion doesn't thrill or delight in the same way as some of the best drivers SUVs can, but it doesn't need to. As a commuter car, getting your kids to school and yourself to work, the Jolion does just about enough right, where if you didn't care about driving dynamics, everything's just fine. With the likes of the Toyota Corolla and Hyundai i30 now starting at over $30,000, where are you meant to go if you want a cheap set of wheels? The Jolion. It's what those cars used to be when they started at under $20,000. It's affordable, it's practical, and it's loaded with all the equipment to keep you happy as a likely first new car purchase. Sure, it's not perfect. The driver attention alert is a little bit too overzealous and the driving dynamics are a little lackluster. But this GWM is the right shape and right price for a lot of people. And as a car to get you from A to B, what more could you ask for? And a follow-up question to that would be, how much more are you willing to pay for it? If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and that bell notification icon to stay on top of all of Drive's YouTube content. And for the full written review, you can head to drive.com.au. But if you don't think this GWM Haval Jolion is right for you, we've reviewed dozens of other models, including some of its key rivals. So be sure to check out Jess's video review of the new generation Hyundai Kona, found up here.